Hi everyone, and so good to have you on my channel again. So in today's tutorial we'll be learning how to cut and sew this casual gown. So if you like what you see, keep on watching. Please do not forget to subscribe, like and share this video. With me here I have my Ankara fabric. I'll be making use of 3 yards of Ankara fabric. Okay, this is my ST. Okay, and this is the pad, or you can call it wadding, that we'll be making use of. Okay, this is the soft one, the soft pad, my zipper, my lining, my chalk, my tape, my rollers and my scissors. Okay, my Ankara fabric is folded into two. I'm on the wrong side of the fabric. Okay, and we'll be drafting out the back, the half length, okay, for the back part of this gown first. Okay, so the first thing I will do is I'll just rule a straight line over here, which will serve as our starting line. Okay, and how I also achieved this fold, I just used the biggest part of the upper part of the body measurement, okay, which is the round bust measurement, and I added about 2.5 extra inches to this. Okay, that was how I achieved the fold. So from the starting line here, the half length I'm working with is 16.5 inches plus 1 extra inch, okay, for joining the upper part of this gown to the lower part of the gown. Okay, that will give us 17.5 inches. Okay, and to measure the half length, okay, of an female individual is from the shoulder line down to the abdomen. Okay, after which you will reduce 1 inch, 1.5 or 2 inches from it to get the half length. Okay, so mine was 19 inches. I think I reduced about 2.5 inches to get 16.5 inches for the half length. Okay, so I haven't marked the half length. The next thing is to mark out 1 inches for the zipper allowance. Okay, remember we are working on the back part, so I'll mark that from the starting line. Okay, and you can see this part is on fold. Okay, we'll still be opening it up for the zipper. Okay, so from the shoulder line to the bust line measurement is 10 inches. So I'll just use my ruler and make a straight line also. Okay, so this is our starting line, bust line and the waist line, which is the half length. Okay, so next up, the round bust measurement I'm working with is 38 inches divided by 4. That will give me 9.5 inches. So I'm placing that on the bust line, and you can see me taking the measurement, marking the measurement from the zipper allowance. Okay, then I'll be adding extra 2 inches for the darts at the back. Okay, and for sewing allowance. So the round waist measurement I'm working with is 33.5 inches divided by 4. That will give me 8.3 inches. I'm marking that on the half length. Okay, plus the same 2 extra inch for that and sewing allowance. So I'll be connecting these two together. Okay, so the shoulder measurement I'm working with is 14 inches divided by 2. That will give me 7 inches. Okay, so I'm marking that here. So for the armhole, from the starting line here, I'll be coming down by 8.5 inches. Okay, and how I normally get my armhole measurement is the shoulder measurement divided by 2. That will give me 7 plus 1 extra inch. That is 8 inches. Okay, and I marked 8.5 inches because I'm going to be removing half inches here for the shoulder slope. Okay, we'll get to that. Then to get the armhole curve, I'll just be placing the round bust measurement divided by 4, okay, on this line here. That will give me 9.5 inches, okay. So I'll just use my curve ruler. Make a curve like so, okay. After which I'll be extending this line to meet with this bust line measurement. Okay, like so. Or better still, or another method is from this point here, you just go in by 1.5 inch, okay, and use your free hand and make a curve like so. Then over here I'll be marking out half inch for the shoulder slope. Then the neck width for the back neckline, 3.5 inches, okay. The neck depth for the back neckline, I'll be marking out 1.5 inches, okay. Then I use my ruler, my curve ruler, and just make a curve. And also connect the shoulder slope. This is all for the drafting of the half length for the back, okay. So next up, I'll cut this out. So after folding into 2, okay, I'm still on the wrong side. We're about to draft the half length for the front part, okay. So I'll place the front part like so. You can see the folded part here, okay. This is going to be our center front. Then I'm taking out the zipper allowance that we have on the back part, okay. Then on this part here, the side seam, I'll just be marking 3 inches. So you can see we're having an extension of 3 inches on the front part, okay. Then I'll trace the armhole. The shoulder line. Okay. After which I'll take this away. So the next thing I'll do is from the shoulder line, okay, down to the bust line is 10 inches. And from the shoulder line down to the under bust is 13 inches. Okay, so I'll make a straight line like so. So this is our bust line, this is the under bust, and this is the half length, okay. So the nipple to nipple measurement I'm working with is 8 inches. 8 inches divided by 2 will give me 4 inches, okay. So because I'm cutting directly on the fabric, I'll be marking out 4.2 inches, okay. Now measure that down to the half length, okay. Then I'll make a straight line like so. And then on the under bust line here, I hope you are following. On the under bust line here, I'll be taking out 2.5 inches. So I'll take this down to the half length. So remember the 3 inches I added here to the side seam. I'm taking 2.5 inches of it from here, okay? Then on the bust line, I'll be going down by 1/2 inch, okay? After which I will make a curve from this part here, this 1/2 inch that I just went down to this under bust part here, okay? This is for the breast part, okay? Then remember, it's the princess dart, okay? So on this shoulder line here, I'll be going down by 3.5 inch, okay? 3.5 inch, and that is where I'll be connecting this to this, okay? So this is all for the princess dart, okay? So what we'll do is to cut this out. So before cutting this out, I want to cut out the asymmetric neckline first, okay? I'll open up the fabric like so. So you can see the midpoint here. So I'll place my tape like so. To my right, I'll go in by 3 inches, okay? And still on the midpoint to my left, I'll go out by 4 inches. And this is because I want the asymmetric to face this side, that is the left hand side, okay? So from this part here, I'll be going down by 7 inches, okay? And I'm drafting on the right side of the fabric, okay? 7 inches. After which I'll bring my curve roller, okay? So this 4 inch will meet with this 7 inches, okay? And because I want my asymmetric neckline to have a curve, so I'll place like so. Then this 3 inch will meet with this 7 inch too, okay? So the next thing I'll do is to cut this out, okay? Then I'll go over, fold my fabric again like so. Then I'll cut this. So I'll give a notch at the under bust, okay? Like so. And also here to the under bust. So this is the breast pad. In case you don't know how to cut a breast pad, there's a video on my channel on how to, okay? So guys, this is the half length. I've already cut out the lining and ironed with ST. Okay, this is the center front, this is the back part also. Okay, so next up we'll be drafting out the lower part of this gown. My fabric is folded into two. I'm on the wrong side. Okay, we'll be cutting out the front part, then we'll be using this to cut out the back part. Okay, so you can see this folded part here. This is our center front. Okay, so the full length of this gown is 37 inches, and remember, for the half length we cut out 16.5 inches. Okay, so 37 inches plus 2 extra inches for folding allowance, and half an inch to join this lower part to the upper part of the gown. Okay, so I'm having 39.5 inches. Right, so I'll just use my ruler, make a straight line. And this is going to serve as our waistline. Okay, so from the waistline down to the hip line, it's 9 inches. Okay, and then the remaining part is the gown length. Okay, so I'll also be making a straight line here. So this is our waistline, our hip line, and the full length of the gown. So the round waist measurement I'm working with is 33.5 inches divided by 4. That will give me 8.3 inches. I'll mark that on the waistline, plus 2 extra inch for darts and sewing allowance. Okay, just like we did for the half length. Then the round hip measurement I'm working with is 40 inches divided by 4. That will give me 10 inches, but I'll be taking out half an inch from it, so I'll be marking 9.5 inches. I'll be replacing this the half an inch I took away from the round hip measurement on the back part. Okay, don't worry, we'll get to that, plus 2 extra inch also. So altogether on the hip line I'm having 11.5 inches. Okay, so it depends on how pencil like you want the lower part of your gown to be. Okay, so from what you have here, you can take out 1 inch, 2 inch, 1.5 inches. Okay, so from this 11.5 inches, I'll be taking out 1.5 inches. Okay, so I'll be left here with 10.5 inches. Okay, so I'll just connect from here down here and to this part. Okay, so I'm done folding this into two. Okay, so I'm placing this front part. Okay, and over here I'm leaving about 3 inches. Okay, 3 inches. Okay, so on this hip line measurement, okay, remember the half inches that I took out, that I reduced from this front part, I'll be replacing it back on this back part. Okay, so here is the half inch. Okay, then from this, you know, this is going to be our zipper allowance. Okay, so from the hip line I'll just be going down by 6 inches. Okay, I'll use my ruler, connect this like so. Okay, and also to the waistline. This is for the butt contour. Okay, so after which, from this half length we'll take our zipper allowance, which is 1 inch. Okay, so I'll just mark that down. So can you see, this is the front and this is the back. Okay, so you can see this is our back. So guys, for the lower part of this gown, okay, I've already cut out the lining, the front and the back. Okay, and you can see that the lining is not the same length with the Ankara fabric. Okay, it's 1 inch shorter. Okay, so the next thing we'll be working on are the sleeves. So guys, I've folded this into 4. Okay, so after folding into 4, we'll be cutting out both sleeves. All right, so the width I'm having here is 9.5 inches. Okay, and that is because I'm just making use of what I have left on the Ankara fabric. You want yours to be more flay like, okay, you can add more inches to the width we have here. Okay, so the length of this sleeve is 23 inches plus 1.5 extra inches for the folding allowance. Okay, so altogether here I'm having 24.5 inches. Okay, so I'll just make a straight line. Then from this line we just marked, I'll go down by 4.5 inches. Okay, and that will be for the bicep. Okay, so I'll make a straight line also. You can check out my channel on how to draft. There's a video I made on how to draft a basic sleeve. Okay, so you can just check that out. Okay, so over here I'll be marking 4 inches. Okay, and on this 4 inches I'll just go down like so and mark the midpoints. So my round bicep is 12 inches divided by 2. That will give me 6 inches plus 1.5 extra inches for sewing allowance. Okay, after which I'll connect from here to here and down here. So guys, from here I'll just be making an A line. Just make a flay line down to the length of the sleeve. Okay, like so. Okay, then on this folded part here, okay, I'll go in by 1.5 inches. Okay, and I'll connect from here down to this. And this will be all for the sleeve. So the next thing I'll do is to cut this out. Guys, the next thing we'll be doing is to join our pads. Okay, for the half length. So what you do is right side facing each other. Okay, see the under bust that we notched. So okay, and I secure with my pin. Next thing I will do, okay, I'll take this over to the machine and sew 1/2 inch, okay, following the curve. All right. So after sewing and trimming out the excess, I'm placing on the bust hem, okay, and ironing. So guys, this is what we'll have, okay. Can you see it? So the next thing I'll do is I'll work on the lining, okay. Just I'll use my pin secure, okay, just the same way we did on the material, okay. So I'll just secure with my pin, then sew 1/2 inch. This is the lining, okay. So the next thing we'll do is I'll place the lining like so, okay, right sides facing each other. Then I'll go over to the machine, okay. I'll sew the neckline, okay, 1/2 inch, after which I will turn this over to the other side, okay, and sew like so, okay. So after doing this, I'll also be attaching the lining to the front, the center front, okay, the remaining part of the front, okay, and I'll be doing the dart also. So when I'm done, I'll come back and show you the next step, okay. So this is what we'll have after sewing. You can see the darts, okay. So the next thing we'll do is to join the upper part and the lower part, okay, together. So I'll be trimming out the excess, then notching the center front, okay, on the half length and on the lower part also of the gown. All right, so I'll use my pin, secure them together, and then go over to the machine and run a stitch 1/2 inch, okay. This is what we'll have after joining, okay. This is the wrong side of it, okay. So we'll be working on the back part, okay. So all I will do is turn my fabric like so. I'm on the right side, so I'll place one lining like so and the other like so, okay. So I'll head over to the machine. I'll sew the neckline 1/2 inch down to the zipper allowance, okay. Then turn this over, okay. Then sew the armhole and the side, okay. I'll be doing that for this, the half length. Then moving over to the lower part also, you know, we have two parts here, okay. So I just place the lining on the right side, okay, on the right side. Then I'll first sew 1/2 inch on the lower part, okay, after which I'll pull the lining up to align with the half length. Then I'll sew the zipper allowance also. So this is the outcome after sewing. So the next thing we'll be doing is to join the upper part and the lower part together, okay, right sides facing each other. Then I'll be sewing 1/2 inch, just like we did for the front part of the gown, okay. And I'll also attach the zipper. So guys, this is the back part, okay. This is the wrong side of it. I left an opening here of see, 4.5 inches. Okay, so the next thing we'll do is we'll be joining the shoulders. Okay, so I'll place the front part like so. Okay, right sides facing each other. So open, make sure the lines, the necklines align. Okay, so open like so. Okay, then I'll go over to the machine. All right, I'll just sew 1/2 inch straight down to the lining also. So after joining the shoulders, the next thing we'll do is to shape this gown. Okay, I'm having a little excess on the back part, as you can see, because I forgot to do the darts, but I'll leave it that way and trim out the excess afterwards. So from the shoulder line, we'll mark out our measurement to the bust line, waistline, and the hip line. Okay, after which I'll take the round bust measurement divided by 2. I'll mark that and then include a little allowance. Okay, so I'll do the same thing for the waist and the hip. I hope you know how to shape clothes. Okay, after which I'll go over to the machine and sew. So guys, I've already cut out lining for the sleeve. Okay, so the next thing I'll do is I'll open this up to the right side. Okay, like so. Then I'll place my lining on it. So I'll go over to the machine and stitch on this lower part first. Okay, then I'll turn this over to the wrong side. Okay, I hope you're following. Then I'll sew the remaining parts. I'll do that for both sleeves. These are my sleeves. Okay, I've also given it a good press. All right, so next up I'll bring the gown like so. Okay, I'll pass the sleeve over. Make sure the sides seam, okay, right sides facing each other. I did not turn the sleeve over to the wrong side. Okay, so like so. Then I'll also make sure this midpoint I notched is on the shoulder. Okay, I'll secure with my pin, then go over to the machine and sew round. So this is the final look, and with this we have come to the end of today's tutorial. Thank you all so much for watching. I hope you find this video helpful, and see you in my next video. Bye and stay safe.